All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We started earlier. I started a discussion with Mazido. We picked up from one point Belarus gave us the last time when we spoke about security and hack opportunities are available online. We've got Belarus back now, on-air personality, and of course tech enthusiast. And we're talking about tech jobs to consider now and how much they pay. Yo, Bella, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Mike. Good morning.
Are you done with those brows? Are you done with those brows?
Wow. Wow, Mike, you put me on blast like that.
No, see, you're a different type. So I mean, chilled. We can still continue making sure that they are perfect, but the brows are perfect. I like them. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm doing really
okay,
good.
So we spoke about.
I guess.
Okay, now we spoke about security. I know that the last time we spoke about one job available when it comes to tech, and we spoke about security, and that it's a high-skill job, yeah? So a number of people were kind of depressed. We're like, look, I don't have any tech background. How can I get such a job? How long will it take me to, build up my tech repertoire to get to the point whereby I can actually engage in such a job? I know it's quite hard. What do you have to say to such people who feel like they are nowhere, and how do they start to get to such jobs as this?
So the first and most important thing that we need to understand is every single day of our lives, we use technology. Whether we have skills or not, everybody knows how to use social media. You have an Instagram page, you have an email address, you know how to get on these platforms. And so many of these companies who are maybe hiring are looking for people who at least, are able to put two and two together and say, okay, if I use this as my username, it will appear like this when I open the page. So it's as basic as that for starters. Now, in the event that you also want to apply for some of the jobs that require more skills, you're going to have to go through certain trainings, right? Okay. And so some of these trainings are available to people who are just curious, so it's not like, oh, you have to be somebody who has been in tech for the longest time. Sometimes in about 3 months or less, if you spend the amount, if you spend the amount of time that you use, maybe just scrolling through Instagram, for instance, understanding how some of these codes work, you'll be surprised how much you are going to benefit from it. I know people who have I'm talking from arts industries, people who have gone from fashion designing, entrepreneurs who have gone from just selling stuff, who are now people who have done stuff in agriculture, choosing to leave, some of these places to learn how to code. And so it's not as if, oh, you have got to be an A-class student or someone who's been a techie from 5 years old. It's not necessary. As long as you are able to reason as an adult or as just a human being, and you are able to just understand certain things, you would definitely be able to do these things. I mean, nobody teaches you how to download an app now. No one teaches you how to open a Facebook account, for instance, or how to respond.
If you're an African parent, they might teach you.
Whoa, Mike, you put African parents on blast. I'm not there.
But I get you. Now, okay, so we spoke about security. What other kind of jobs are available? Can people also delve into apart from security? Are there any other branches still in tech that people can delve into?
Definitely. Now, as you know, the world is moving to a heavily artificial intelligent world where we have some machines doing stuff for us, or sometimes some of these machines are predicting our behavior. So sometimes when you want to search something on the internet, for instance, before you finish typing it, you sometimes see that it has suggested that for you. Or maybe you want to go use, for instance, an ATM machine or, anything else like that. So there's a high demand for artificial intelligence and machine learning engineers. This is a bit high end in a way. But that's
Bella is the highest.
Looking in that.
Bella is the highest. Bella, even me, when I hear AI, my chest used to do somehow. I'm serious, Bella. When I hear artificial intelligence, my chest does somehow because see, that's the high. That's where that is it. That's where it picks up. But hey, let's talk about AI. What are the options available? How can someone pick up AI from, say, Justin?
AI is in high demand in the tech industry, and it is, again, in a way, it's an emerging field. In other parts of the world, for instance, they are really progressing in that area, and that's where people who are going to learn how to do these things from this part of the world, for instance, can have an edge, because even in other parts of the world, they don't exactly have it figured out just yet. So if you can get online and maybe take some courses on AI, it will require some learning. Like I said before, it's not like it will just fall on your laps. It requires some learning. So when you're able to figure that out, you can now apply for some of these jobs. they do stuff. So when you hear about innovations like the Tesla, for instance, when you hear about innovations like, in fact, smartphones now being able to recognize your face and all of these things, and even how some of these things are used, it's the job of artificial intelligence engineers and machine learning engineers as well to help out with how they can let technology predict our behavior better. And so some of these jobs are helping you earn as much as over 100,000, almost $150,000, on average, per year. And I think that's very, very exciting. Now, in case that is a bit too high end for some people, like you have mentioned, African parents sometimes don't necessarily understand technology like we youngins understand it. So there are people who actually do research, right, for companies that are looking to still serve people like that who are maybe old, or people who live in areas where internet is not exactly penetrating deep enough. And so they're able to still provide solutions for these people at their level of understanding. And that's where stuff like, research scientists will come in, so you can maybe go on field, talk to these people, understand their needs, etc., and then collect all that data that you have gotten, all that information, and then provide it to some company that's in need of it. Because truth is, not everybody, at the end of the day, not everyone will be a smartphone user. We still have people using feature phones in this country. We have parts of Nigeria where there is no internet, and there are companies who are looking to get into those areas to serve them. They call these places underserved areas. And so if you're able to do some kinds of research about such areas, you can provide that information to companies, and you're making about $100,000 thereabouts per year in those areas. It's interesting to note that a lot of the companies that will need your skills may not be in Nigeria, and that's what makes it even more exciting. Remote working is the new normal for many people as a result of the pandemic, and so you can sit down in your house in Ogba, in your house in Agege or in Oshodi, and be doing work for a company that is in Massachusetts or that is in Texas or Houston or anywhere else for that matter. And that's the exciting thing about this. And you are helping them, provide solutions for even parts of the world where you are based. So they have the wherewithal, they have the resources, they have the equipment, and so they can sometimes either ship some of these things or ship some people or use your information to create these solutions for people back home.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bella Rose. I will just very, very fast. Let's just do this in a few seconds. It would be remiss of me not to ask or not to talk about the fact that it can be challenging. We've had a lot of limitations or restrictions when it comes to accessing jobs outside this country from Nigeria because of Is there, I don't know, do you have anything to say about that when it comes to the kind of limitations and restrictions we have as Nigerians working out of Nigeria when we're doing remote jobs? I know you're not the government, so I don't expect you to have the answer to that, but what can you say about that? That is quite a challenge.
There are a number of fellowships that software developers belong to. Now, these places are called fellowships because they are places where developers who don't feel like they have enough skills or enough experience can learn. So it's like an ecosystem where they can just stay and learn some of these things. And then companies from anywhere in the world who these fellowships have provided recruits for will reach out to them and tell them, okay, so guys, we need an artificial intelligence person, for instance, and they can look within and say, oh, we have somebody who is almost 100% good at this artificial intelligence thing, and we can recommend them to you. So I think what you need to do is search for these fellowships and see what it requires or it entails to join them. For many of them, it is literally free because it's an ecosystem that they are building where we can have talent in Nigeria that are just great at coding and at developing. So look out for these fellowships. They are quite a number in Nigeria. I cannot say their names
Okay,
right
all right. Bella Rose, thank you. Thank you so much. If we continue now, the fellowship will enter preaching from there. But it's always great talking to you. It's always great talking to you. Have a wonderful day.
Same here. Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. Okay, that's it. That's all we can take for the second lap of the show. The third lap coming right up after this timeout.